Magandang, ano ba? Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. We're doing this live for the purpose of explaining isa dun sa yung mga provisions dito sa Concession Agreement between the water service providers, not water service, actually, misnomer yon. Hindi po nagpo-provide ng water services ang Manila Water at saka Maynilad. Basically, what they're providing is the billing system. Ngayon, bahagi dun sa agreement nila ng MWSS ay ang nakalagay doon is to guarantee the supply of water at mag-cover sila ng to guarantee the supply dun sa coverage na nadatnan nila when they took over the facilities, and they're allowed to make the expansion. But let's start with what is the most basic obligation of Manila Water dito. We'll just simplify na hindi natin mako-cover lahat ng maliliit na detalye dito sa concession agreement, but basically we'll be covering parts of the agreement na nakikita natin na posibleng i-discuss ng DOJ sa Pangulo natin regarding the onerous parts of the contract. Ngayon, anong ibig sabihin ng onerous? Ibig sabihin nun, medyo burdensome siya. Mabigat siya para dun sa isang partido. So, ibig sabihin, mahirap or nahihirapan yung isang partido dahil sa provision na ito. So, pag sinabi rin nating onerous at yung isang partido doon sa isang kontrata ay ang gobyerno, then nakikita natin, since covered dito by what we call the public interest, may mga papasok na mga batas dito. Isang batas na maaari rin pumasok dito, ang Republic Act 3019, which is the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. So, anong ibig sabihin po nito? Kapag masyadong burdensome ang provisions ng isang kontrata, then we can say that this is not beneficial at saka unduly, because it is unduly burdensome, magiging graft na po siya. Kasi grossly disadvantageous to the government ay kinoconsider natin na isang krimen pagka may pinasok ang isang opisyal na kontrata on behalf of the government and it is grossly disadvantageous to the government, then this is considered an act of graft. Okay? So, ano yung pinaka-basic na obligasyon ng concessionaires? Okay? General provisions, the obligations regarding the provisions of water services ayon dito sa kontrata. Sabi, the concessionaires have the obligation to set forth shall offer water supply services to all existing customers in the service area. So that's provision number 5.1.1. Ang pinakamahalaga dito sa provision na ito ay kailangan mag-provide sila ng tubig. And ang nakalagay dito, after June 30, the concessionaire shall ensure the availability of uninterrupted 24-hour supply of water to all connected customers in the service area. Ulitin ko po yan. Obligasyon po ng Manila Water at Maynilad to provide 24-hour continuous water service, supply of water. Ito. Not only that, required na itong water na ito ay drinking water quality standards. Okay? Tapos, in addition to that, they are of course providing the billing system. So, pero ulitin po natin ha, walang nakalagay po dito sa early provisions ng ating concession agreement regarding what we call force majeure. Sa lahat po kasi ng mga kontrata na pinapasukan ng kahit sino man, merong tinatawag tayo na force majeure. Ang force majeure po ay isang act of God o natural occurrence na hindi na foresee at hindi na prevent, na ang effect po nun ay mapaprevent yung paggawa or pag-comply dun sa mga obligasyon ng isang kontrata. So that is an excuse doon on the part of a party. Ngayon, is a famine or is a a dry spell considered force majeure? No. Kasi, halimbawa, pag summer, tagtuyo, na-expect naman po natin na tuwing tagtuyo ay kukonti ang ulan. Ngayon, kung kukonti ang bagyo, would this be considered force majeure? Ang force majeure kasi dapat hindi natin na-foresee. Pero, given this day and age na nakikita na natin just how much water supply there is going to be at maaaring i-compute, kunwari kung ilan ang mga customers na in the service area at kung ano yung needs ng mga tao dun sa service area, nakukompute na po base dun sa mga levels ng dam, etc. na kung how much water you're going to need at meron kang lead time to provide the water services. So, dun pa lang sa pinaka-basic na obligasyon, this is the reason kung bakit natawag ang pansin ng ating Pangulo last year at nag-call siya for a review of the contracts. Of course, hindi specific yung sinabi ng Pangulo. He said all government contracts. Pero isa po ito dun sa mga kontrata na pina-review ng ating Pangulo dahil nga, for some reason, nakadalawang rainy season na po tayo, and in both instances, sinasabi ng water service providers na kulang po ang tubig. And for a while, naniwala po tayo. Ang sinasabi natin, kulang naman talaga kasi ng tubig, hindi talaga umulan. But is that our fault? No. We are not to be deprived of water kasi yung water service providers have the obligation to provide for the water. Ibig sabihin, kailangan may foresight sila, kailangan may planning. Kailangan, years before, ay naggarantiya na nila na today, meron tayong 24-hour uninterrupted water supply. Hindi po nila nagawa yon. So the President called for a review of the contract. Kasi dun pa lang sa very basic na obligations ay hindi na nakakapag-comply yung ating mga water concessionaires. After that, naging maliwanag din, and then the one thing na hindi po nababanggit ng ibang tao ay kailangan drinking water standards ang ating tubig na pinoprovide ng water concessionaires. Pero karamihan po sa atin, nagpapakulo pa ng tubig, gumagamit ng mga water filters, gumagamit ng purification systems. Hindi po dapat tayong gumagawa nun. Dapat po dun sa water service provider natin, dun sa mga water concessionaires, ay ginagarantiyan na nila na yung tubig na lumalabas sa gripo natin ay naiinom. Ganun po dapat kataas yung mga standards, pero hindi rin po nila nagagawa yon. Okay. Now, it's no wonder nagalit ang Pangulo. Pero very specific din po yung isang reason kung bakit talaga nagputok na yung butsin ng Pangulo. And we're very happy about that kasi matagal na pong tinatawag namin ang pansin both dito sa Luminous at saka dun sa Carambola ang problema dito sa ating mga water concessionaires. As early as 2013 po kasi involved po ako at saka si Kong Jonat doon sa WARM, sa isang water advocacy group na nagdemanda po sa MWSS na huwag i-allow ang increase in the rates. Actually, we filed it a little earlier dahil humingi na naman po ng increase ng rates ang Maynilad at saka ang Manila Water. Saan nila binasi yung increase na ito? Meron po kasi dito sa Concession Agreement under Section 9, if I'm not mistaken, 9.2 dapat yan. Under Section 9 na tinatawag na rate adjustments. So, ano yung mga rate adjustments? Ibig sabihin, pwedeng taasan. In theory, pwedeng babaan ang mga rates na ini-impose sa atin ng mga ng mga concessionaires. I apologize. Pero, merong, on the part of the MWSS, sila po ang nag-regulate. Ibig sabihin, sila po ang nagde-determine kung masyadong mataas yung magiging adjustment. So, in other words, nakapasok dito sa kontrata na to ang pagtataas o pagbababa, which hasn't happened, ng rate, ng presyo ng ating tubig. Ngayon, merong tinatawag na rate rebasing. Nasaan na ba yan? Okay. Dun sa rate rebasing, nag-set ng charging year ang agreement po na ito. There were 4 charging years na tinatawag ng rebasing years, and 2 of them, 2013 and both 2013 and 2018 naka-schedule for rate increases. Yung rate increases na po ito ay hinihingi, pinipetition ng concessionaires, tapos magko-compute yung MWSS at titignan kung masyadong mataas. Ngayon, in 2013, yung dalawang concessionaires, Maynilad and Manila Water, parehong nag-claim ng improvements. Ayon dun sa Manila Water, yung improvements nila amounted to about 47 billion pesos. Doon naman on the part of Maynilad, nag-claim sila ng 61 billion pesos worth of improvements in the water system. Sabi ng MWSS, hindi pwede yan. Kasi hindi nyo mapapatunayan sa amin yung worth ng mga improvements na yon. Hindi mapapatunayan yan kasi during the turnover noong 1997 ng system to the water concessionaires, wala pong audit at walang binigay din po na inventaryo ang Manila Water o ang Maynilad to the MWSS of what they had received. May pagkukulang din ng MWSS kasi under FBR nung nag-turnover, wala rin po kasing inventaryo dun sa mga tinurnover. Kasi yun ang gagawin nilang basehan para i-compute lahat ng improvements that had been made from 1997 to 2013. Kung wala tayong inventaryo doon, yung claim nila ng improvements ay wala tayong basehan. Di ba? So, nag-i-insist sila dahil rate adjustment year, dahil it is a charging year, dapat inallow sila na mag-increase. Ang sinasabi ng MWSS, we could not allow you to increase kasi nga, ano ang magiging basehan natin para dun sa computation ninyo for the increase. Ito ngayon yung kaso na dinala ng dalawang water concessionaires for arbitration. Ngayon si TP, iniimbestigahan niya yung arbitration, so hindi ko siya pangungunahan dun sa issue na yon. Ang point dito is, walang nangamoy scam ang sinisingil ng dalawang water concessionaires because they did not provide a basis for the MWSS, for the government to check kung totoo nga itong basehan ninyo, na yung claim ninyo na ganito yung worth ng mga improvements ninyo. Kasi pwede silang magpakita ng mga resibo, pwede silang magpakita ng mga costs, pero if they do not amount to an increase into the existing system, then we cannot accept it kasi nga the rate of increase will be passed on to the consumers. Sa madaling sabi, gatekeeper kasi, regulatory office ang MWSS at sinasabing labigyan nyo kami ng basehan para din sa increase, otherwise no increase. So, dinemanda tayo. I'll let TP discuss the terms of the arbitration. So, but that's not the only rate increases that we are subjected to na rate dun sa rate rebasing scheme. Merong portion pa dito sa concession agreement na tinatawag extraordinary price adjustments. Okay? Ano yung extraordinary price adjustments? Ito yung pwedeng mag-petition for increases dahil may nangyari na out of the ordinary that will require the water concessionaires to increase the rates kasi malulugi sila. O halimbawa, ano yung mga grounds para sa extraordinary price adjustment? One of them is, the first is that kung yung regulatory office ang nagsabi, which rarely happens. Second, if there is a change in law, government regulation, rule, or order, or interpretation thereof that affects or is likely to affect the cash flow. Okay? Ano itong mga to? Kunwari, may bagong batas at nag-impose ng fines. Kunwari, fines for certain actions that they're already doing, maaapektuhan yung cash flow nila kasi mababawasan sila dahil kailangan dumagdag yung babayad nila sa gobyerno. That is what we call an extraordinary price adjustment kapag ginrantan sila at magtaas uli ng presyo. Halimbawa, tinaasan ang income taxes ng ating mga water concessionaires. They are allowed to pass it on through the grounds for extraordinary price adjustment. Merong prinsipyo kasi sa ating batas na kapag imbued with public interest ng isang industriya, maaari pong makialam ang gobyerno at makialam din dun sa mga pagpapresyo nito. So nakikita na natin na paggrabe ng paggrabe, matagal na palang napabayaan natin ang hindi pagtitingin dito sa ating mga water concessionaires. Pero ako, I reserve the right kasi noong 2013, sumali po ako dun sa petition sa Korte Suprema na wag i-allow yung mga rate increases ng mga water concessionaires. If the regulatory office determines that a breach of this concession agreement has occurred and appropriate remedy has not been made, then allowed na naman sila mag-increase. Ito na nga yung sinasabi nila ng yung supposed panakot ng Manila Water at saka ni Frank Drilon na supposedly sinasabi ni Senator Frank Drilon na allegedly kinukote din ng ating Pangulo na billion-billion ang igagastos ninyo kung mag-i-insist kayo na hindi i-allow yung rate increases kasi nga, andito yon pagka nag-breach of contract yung isang party, then again, there'll be another rate adjustment. So, ito yung irony ha. May rate adjustment, extraordinary price adjustment. Pag hindi ginrant yun, magkakalos sila, pwede na naman silang mag-extraordinary price adjustment and it can go on forever. Nakikita nyo kung ganong ka-onerous itong kontrata na to? Okay, if the concessionaire has been or will be in receipt of a grant or below market financing from any multilateral source that may be used to finance where such grant or below market financing was not known or anticipated at the commencement date. Sa madaling sabi, meron silang ine-expect will be in receipt that may be used to finance or offset an expenditure, pwede na naman silang mag-increase. Pagka sa opinion ng regulatory office, may material change dun sa calculation ng consumer price index. Anong kinalaman nito? In other words, nagtataasan po ang commodities everywhere, mag-a-adjust sa consumer price index, maaari na naman magtaas sila ng presyo. Okay? Pababaw ng pababaw yung dahilan. Okay, in addition to this, meron pang tinatawag na foreign currency adjustment rate. Dun sa foreign currency adjustment rate, dahil daw, di umano, nagko-contract sila ng mga loans using foreign currency, kapag nagbago daw ang foreign currency rate, allowed po ang mga concessionaires na mag-adjust para tumaas ang presyo para ma-cover yung mga losses nila dahil nagbago yung, let's say, dollar exchange rate. An increase has occurred in the concession fee. Okay, ano yung arrangement ng concessionaires? Ang concessionaires, they supposedly take care of the system. They're supposed to provide improvements. They're supposed to provide us with 24-hour water service. And they're supposed to guarantee drinking water standards. In exchange for this, they get all of the billings. Take note ha, the reason there's something wrong with this is because the Constitution says that water belongs to the state. Okay, everything goes to the concessionaire and they pay MWSS a concession fee, which is a flat rate. Ngayon, pag sinabi ng MWSS, tataasan namin yung fees, magkakaroon na naman ng rate adjustment ng extraordinary price increase at yung presyo na yon ay dahil nag-increase ng babayarin ang Manila Water or ang Maynilad to MWSS. Okay, this is getting worse. Ayon sa ating saligang batas, lahat ng mga natural resources belongs to the state. Therefore, dapat yung tubig na sinusupply ng Manila Water sa atin ay dapat binabayaran rin sa estado. In other words, para masupply ng Manila Water sa atin yan, babayaran nila yung gobyerno for the price of the water only, but they can ask for an increase para ma-provide yung costs ng sistema, yung pipes, yung repairs, yung connections, yung sewerage treatment, which they are required to provide because they are the Metro Manila Water Works and Sewerage System, which is what kumbaga, they're the successor to MWSS original service contract. Okay? The Manila Water and Maynilad do not pay the state for the water. Instead, they sell us the water, which they get for free. Okay? They have a system which they got for free. But when they bill us, all of that money goes to them. Isipin mo, yun yung sinasabi natin na tinatabo lang nila yung pera nila. Kasi hindi sila gumastos para sa tubig at hindi sila gumastos para dun sa sistema na they took over from MWSS, pero lahat ng billing sa kanila pumupunta at isang flat rate lang po ang binibigay nila sa MWSS. At yung binibigay nila sa MWSS, yun po ang nagiging ginagamit ng MWSS to pay the salaries and emoluments of their employees, the running of the office, etc., and the entire overhead. Okay? Yun lang po ang pinaka-contribution ng mga water service providers natin. Tapos, pag nag-increase pa po ng concession fee ang MWSS, ipapasa po ng concessionaires yan sa ating mga hampas lupang bumibili ng tubig sa kanila. Okay? So, yun lang yung gusto ko sanang is to see that may basihan ng ating Pangulo na magwala. Kasi bukod sa hindi na sila nagko-comply dun sa kanilang basic obligations to provide us with water, to provide the billing services, and to improve and increase the water connectivity and to guarantee 24-hour supply, then they have already failed. Ngayon, when Manila Water asked for a new dam, guess who pays for that dam? The government. But the dam provides water, and Manila Water will be getting that water for free. The dam is going to be built by taxpayers' money. Manila Water will not spend for that, but sumingil po sila for the Kaliwa Dam. Okay? Sumisingil din po ang Manila Water ng tinatawag nating sewerage fees. Ibig sabihin, nagbayad tayo para yung madumi nating tubig, the water that gets flushed from our toilet, that goes down the drain sa mga kitchens and bathrooms natin, ay dapat pumupunta sa isang sewerage system where it is cleaned and filtered and then returns to either to the tributaries, the rivers, or to the sea. Pero dapat pag pumunta yun dun sa dagat, malinis na. Since we cannot dump dirty water, toxic water, or polluted water into our streams, our tributaries, and into the sea, kung wala tayong sewerage and sewerage treatment, anong gagawin? And that is what we have been doing. Kung papansinin mo, karamihan ng mga households natin mayroong tinatawag na Poso Negro. This is a septic system. Ibig sabihin, what we flush down the toilet goes into a concrete structure kung saan it acts like a very rudimentary filter para dun sa tubig so that whenever they seep through a very dense substance, na it becomes a natural filter, so naiiwan yung dumi and the water that goes back to the soil will be cleaner. But this is a very rudimentary system. And ang nangyayari, nagiging obligasyon natin mga consumers na mag-provide ng sarili nating septic system samantalang nagbabayad tayo dun sa mga water service providers ng sewerage fees. Kaya ito ngayon yung naging basihan ng desisyon ng ating Korte Suprema na magpasa ng resolution ordering the two companies to pay for the sewerage that they already collected from us, to pay and set up our sewerage system. And for every day that they do not comply with that, if a fine sila. napapalakpak talaga ako sa ating Korte Suprema. So, ang sinabi ng mga water concessionaires ngayon is, huwag niyong gagawin yan sa amin, huwag niyo kaming sisingilin ng fine, at huwag niyo kaming i-impose ng obligation na ura-uradahin yung paglagay ng sewerage system, kasi ipapasa lang namin yung cost to the consumers under the extraordinary price adjustment provision of the concession agreement. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, hindi na nga nila tayo binigyan ng sewerage system, kahit nagbayad tayo for that sewerage system, and ang gagawin nila, because they were fined, because may kasalanan sila, tataas na naman yung binabayad natin para sa tubig and sewerage system natin dahil hindi nila ginawa yung kanilang obligasyon. So, we are going to be paying for their mistakes, for their fines, for their taxes, and for everything else that was as a result of their negligence. Okay? So, totoo yung sinasabi nila na tumatabo lang talaga ng pera ang mga water concessionaires natin kasi they do not take on any responsibility for any of the costs. Lahat ng supposed improvements nila, kahit walang basehan at wala silang pruweba, ipapasa nila sa atin. Pagka na-fine sila, na-tax sila, ipapasa nila yan sa atin because there is a provision for what is called extraordinary price adjustment. Okay, now what can we do? Marami pa po hindi lang po ito ang problema ng ating concession agreement. There's more, pero ayan, ito yung mga basics na nakikita, and I don't doubt na nakita din ko, nakita ko to. Mas magaling po yung mga abogado na nasa DOJ, and I'm sure mas marami pa po silang makikita. Now, what can the President do? Merong provisions din dito sa concession agreement for a pre-termination of the agreement. Kasi, isa din po sa nadiscovery natin is dapat na-extend po ng 15 years under the term of Noynoy ang concession agreement to almost unilaterally, basta in-extend na lang yan. It did not go through Congress, it did not go through public consultation. We woke up one morning, or at least hindi ko na malayan, or hindi natin na malayan as the public, na biglang na-extend na ng 15 years yung kanilang water concession agreement. Okay. But hindi lang po dito sa kontrata gumagalaw ang Ayala. Noong 2013, ang MWSS administrator was Jerry Esquivel, at siya yung humihindi noon sa Ayala, sa Manila Water, na hinihindian niya dun sa hinihingi nilang increase, dun sa rate rebasing increase nila. As a result of that, patanggal po ni Noynoy si Jerry Esquivel for the simple reason na tinutulan niya yung rate increases. Of course, ginawan siya ng mga kaso which were, if I understand it correctly, ay malapit na pong ma-dismiss kung hindi pa po na-dismiss. Ano pa po? Well, naging concession agreement po ito, when actually what it should have been was a franchise. Ang prangkisa po kasi maaaring i-review ng Kongreso at maaaring tanggalin po at any time kapag lumabag sila sa kanilang franchising agreement, sa kanilang prangkisa. Ito po ay hindi prangkisa. These are ordinary contracts entered into by the state. Pero masyado siyang onerous and burdensome. Kaya lang, pagka nag-early termination dito, merong adjustment na naman, meron na namang babayaran ng gobyerno kapag nag-pre-terminate ng agreement. Halimbawa, pag nag-loan ang mga korporasyon na ito, dahil supposedly para mag-improve ng mga services, dun sa loan na yan, ang pagka nag-pre-terminate, ang gobyerno po ang magbabayad sa kanilang mga loans. So, babayaran rin lahat ng mga binayaran, di umano nilang mga assets, but take note, hindi naman nila talaga binayaran yon kasi they passed on the cost of all of these improvements to the public. So madaling sabi, for everything that they have put in as improvements, kahit kumita na sila, pag nag-pre-terminate, babayaran pa rin. Okay? So, binibigyan ko lang po kayo ng basehan para magalit. Para pagka may nag-argue sa inyo na bakit tayo nag-enter into this contract, well, the contract was entered into in 1990, became effective in 1997, panahon po ni FVR. Okay? So, grabe, di ba? So, what can we do? Can the president take over? Can the president unilaterally pre-terminate? Yes, he can. Pero magbabayad tayo kung susundan natin yung terms ng concession agreement. Okay? Marami tayong babayaran dyan. But I think na maaaring pag-usapan yung terms ng bayaran na yan. Also, tandaan, kung i-pre-terminate natin, yung sinisingil din ng MWSS, ng Manila Water sa atin, base dun sa 2013 na price adjustment nila, sa price increase nila, ay kailangan din bayaran ng gobyerno. In other words, if we don't want to pay the 7 billion, then pre-terminating the contract is not going to solve that problem. Ayan. Yung sa dun sa ating, so what else can we do? Because this is imbued with public interest, maaari nga nating una-una kasuhan yung mga officials who are responsible for this. Unfortunately, it might have prescribed na kasi 1997 yon. But it will depend kung ngayon lang po na-review yung kontrata, the government can argue that they only discovered the crime now and so hindi pa dapat tumakbo yung prescriptive period. I'm not sure if that is going to work, but that is a means. We're not yet sure how successful that kind of means is going to be. So we can use the criminal laws. We can, of course, ask for a nullification of the contract based on because it's grossly disadvantageous to the government and because of the grossly burdensome imposition that this makes on not only on the public but also on the government. Kasi, or we can actually ask we can void this due to the breach on the part of Manila Water et al. So I think this is what the Solicitor General will most likely be looking at. They will sue the water service providers for not providing us with water. Kasi yun ang basic obligation nila, and not providing us with 24-hour service, not providing us with drinking water standards na tubig dito sa kanilang mga service areas. Okay? So I think that is possibly the primary option that the government is going to undertake. Also, hopefully, merong mga penalties. Ayun, may mga penalties to meet the service obligations. If a concessionaire does not meet a service obligation within 180 days, the amount of the penalty shall be equal to 50% of such costs. Babaw lang. Kunwari, tubig. Di kayo nag-provide ng tubig. Yung cost ng tubig for that day, 50% nun, yun yung rate. Or at least yun yung i-argue nila. Or at least that's how it looks like from a basic reading of this law. Okay. Let's look at your questions. Tinanong ni Mar Aninon, bakit Singapore arbitration ang nag-demand sa atin when they are a foreign company? No. Hindi po yung Singapore Singapore po yung kinonducting arbitration. The Solicitor General should be the one answering this. Kasi wala pang statement. Ang sinabi lang ng Solicitor General is that they can still appeal the decision or ask for reconsideration of the decision. So, titignan natin dyan. Ang tumatayo po na bilang representante para sa Philippine government is the Solicitor General. Ngayon, naalala nyo, yung China arbitration natin, may mga lawyers tayo doon. The Solicitor General was there also, and he was the one giving us updates. Nung nagdemanda po ang Manila Water, panahon pa rin po ni Noynoy. And this is the decision that we lost. So maybe we can also ask the officials of the former administration na panagutan nila yung pagkatalo nila dito sa kaso na ito. Meron nag-suggest, I think it's Prosecutor Darwin Cañete, na pwede ring i-eminent domain ito. The problem is, pagdating sa eminent domain, di mo pwede kasing i-eminent domain something that already belongs to the government. Ngayon, yung mga assets na tinurn over actually belong to the government. These are only concessionaires. In other words, yung sistema ng tubig ay pinatatakbo lang at ginagamit ng Manila Water and therefore doesn't belong to them. So, hindi mo na pwedeng i-eminent domain yung already belonging to the state. So, malabo po yung ano na yun. Ngayon, if the court says na, no, actually, that already belongs to MWSS, then pwede siyang i-eminent domain. But the problem with that is, we'll be paying for something that has already belonged to the state. And parang they're going to reacquire it. So, ang tanong na lang talaga dito sa mga solusyon o mga remedyo na ito is how much we're going to end up paying. Sabi ni Reynaldo Aguilar, win-win situation pa lang mga concessionaires sa contract in any ways. Kawawa talaga ang taong bayan. Yes. Sabi ni Lorna Dulnuan, nakakagalit nga. Sabi ni Edwin TC, pwede naman po ba silang balikan dun sa sewer system na sinisingil nila? I already explained that. Dahil merong extraordinary price adjustments, kahit bayaran nila yung fine, isisingil din nila sa atin yan. Unless, yun nga, we can void the contract because they are in breach. Yung mga BWD here sa Baguio, do they follow the same contracts? No. They would have a different one with the local water district, local water utilities, yung LUA administration. Maliwanag ang lahat, sana yung mga bulag at bingi na gumagamit ng tubig ay magising taga Laguna ako pero nakakangit-ngit. Parts of Laguna are supplied by either Manila Water or Maynila. Sabi ni Ima C. Iricaf, gusto ni PRRD na mag-file ng economic sabotage. Matatalo ba tayo against Ayala yung Pangilinan at saan korte po yan? Dito po yan. Pero hindi ako sure kung the proper remedy is to file economic sabotage kasi it's mahina yung batas tsaka walang specifics on water concession. I'll have a look at it again. Pero last time I saw agricultural products, LTO stickers, yung mga ganon yung covered under economic sabotage. Sabi ni June Limalanta, 1997 pa pala ito. Sino ang presidente at the time? So malaki ang trabaho na gagawin ni Soljan Calida. Samahan nawa ng Diyos ang kanyang gagawin. Yes. I'm sure tutulungan siya ng DOJ. Sabi ni Cruz Rico, my God, daming babayaran ng gobyerno dahil sa kapalpakan ni B.S. Aquino. Yung dredging project na canceled niya with the Belgian company and now Maynila then Manila Water, mga anti-Duterte, sumagot kayo. Totoo po yan. Sabi ni Aris, if in 2013 the agreement was pre-extended for another 15 years, knowing that the contract is onerous in itself, pwede bang masu yung admin during that time? I think so. Sabi ni Josephine Ramirez Santos, tuluyan na sana ni Tatay Digong yung mga mapagsamantalang oligarchs na yan, pati ay nawala. Okay. Ito pa, the other thing that we have to look out for is that Finance Secretary Sunny Dominguez used to work with the Ayalas. At by the Ayala's own admission in their statement, sabi nila, kinakausap nila si Secretary of Finance, Sunny Dominguez, para mag-work out ng payment agreement para hindi masyado daw mabigat sa gobyerno bayaran yung rate increases nila. What they're not talking about is yung dito sa mga fines. Bakit? Kasi nga ipapasa din nila yung cost ng fines sa atin under the extraordinary price increases in the concession agreement. So nakikita na ng Pangulo na every time we try to get back at the concessionaires, they will keep coming back to us with a rate increase. That's how the contract is worded and built. Sabi ni Freddy Flores, thank you very much. Naintindihan namin mahihirap ang pagkaganib, pera at kapangyarihan ng mga oligarchs. Opo. That's why the President ordered for a review of all of these contracts. Kasi nga, sobrang lugi tayo. And it's not just this. Kaya nga, tama din po yung call na lahat ng public utilities ay dapat ibalik sa gobyerno. Kaya yan privatize noon. The justification was that masyado daw inefficient ang gobyerno magpatakbo. However, pwede naman kasing kasuhan ng gobyerno that is being inefficient ng ating with taxpayer suit. So, maybe that is the way to check an inefficient government. But it's easier to check an inefficient government than it is to check an oligarchic water concessionaire with a contract like this. Okay, so that's something that we have to watch out for. Tatandaan po natin na in many instances, the President has been in so much good faith, talagang gusto niyang protektahan. Ang tagal-tagal niya bago halimbawa sinaynan yung rice tarification law because he was told na magkakaproblema yung mga farmers natin. But he was assured by some of the legislators na hindi po mangyayari yon, and yet that's what happened. So, may mga tao sa ating gobyerno who might be trying to undermine the President, and we also have to watch out for those people. Lalong-lalo na pagdating dito sa tubig because it is such a huge business. Sabi ni Ready Jet, oops, sorry, nabaliktad ko na naman yung aking camera. What the heck? Yan. Sorry. Yan. Yes, matagal na po ito. So, sabi ni, let's keep the questions only dito sa tubig muna. We can do another live. We'll probably do more lives more often now. Tungkol dito sa water concession agreements. So, lahat po naman ng contracts, there is always a way to either to void it or to end it. Kasi you cannot be a slave, no, to a contract. However, you will have to pay. The question na lang is how much you're going to end up paying if you void this contract. Sabi ni Ron Miss Buen, nakakagalit pala yan sobra, taga-Norte ako, hindi maabot dito ang serbisyo ng Manila Water et al. Well, taxpayer po ako at bilang empleyado, etc. Sabi ni Hilda Roberts, nahuli din kita at last, not easy to catch you live when living somewhere far. Water rates must be slashed as up there, I know how. Ang bilis ng mga niyo, nawawala tuloy yung mga binabasa ko, pakiulit na lang po. Sabi ni Ronald Alan Nergo, pwede po bang balikan ang mga senador na pumirma sa batas na ito? Hindi po ito batas. This is a contract. At ang pumirma dito ay MWSS at saka yung water concessionaires. Kaya po nabanggit ng ating Pangulo, si Senator Drilon, ay dahil ang nag-draft po ng contract na ito ay yung ACRA Law Office. Supposedly, in 1997, Senator Drilon was still connected to that law office. So, supposedly. At least yun yung sinasabi ng ating Pangulo. Okay, dun sa mga nagtatanong how, I already said that The rescission of this contract, the voiding of this contract will be on the basis that the concessionaires breached their obligation. Ang obligation nila is to provide 24-hour service of water at wala po dun nakalagay that there is an excuse na walang tubig sa dam. Kaya tatandaan po natin, ang pinakamatinding nilalabas ng mga media companies at the time na nagkaroon tayo ng drought is, anong gagawin ng water concessionaires? Wala naman talagang tubig. Mali po yon. Obligasyon ng mga water concessionaires to have anticipated this kasi hindi po siya force majeure. Na-anticipate po na magkakasummer. Na-anticipate po na titigil ang ulan. At ang weather forecasts nga can be made up to 10 years in advance. These are general and not very accurate, but still there is some basis for it. Diba? So, yes, the contract can be voided. The only question that remains is how much we're going to end up paying. Another is how we're going to address the transitory period. Sabihin nga natin na, sige, void natin, paalisin natin yung mga Ayala who is going to run it. Okay? We might not be prepared for that. And we have to be. Okay. Can government take over? Yes, but they can only take over for a temporary period. So yes, they actually can. However, because if it is considered a pre-termination, then there will be, again, the question really is on how much we're going to end up paying. Okay? Kung wala na pong ibang mga tanong, maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay ng live natin na ito tungkol dito sa water concession agreements. Few more questions. Paano pag ayaw magbayad ng gobyerno sa kanila, Ayala, etc.? They'll go nga to arbitration, etc. Ang tanong muna is, why did we cede jurisdiction dun sa arbitration? Well, the best thing to do is ask the Aquino government. Kasi nung time nila, pumasok yung mga arbitration cases na yan. And they could have done like what China did and said na, teka muna, hindi kami magpapayag dyan sa arbitration in that particular arbitration panel. Kasi hindi naman po required na out of the country yung arbitration. Ang required lang ay nag-subscribe dun sa UNCITRAL rules, United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, ang susundan na rules. Okay? Again, maraming salamat. Huwag po ninyong kakalimutan, may karambola po tayo bukas, 8 to 10 ng umaga, Monday to Friday, at madidiscuss din po natin ito uli. You can send us your questions din sa Facebook Live at saka sa YouTube live streaming na yan. Why was it not changed when it was renewed? It has not yet been renewed, sabi, tinatanong kasi. One more thing. Why did it take so long for the President to do this? Kasi po, as early as last year, di ba, nagpatawag na ng review. Kaya lang nga na-review ng Pangulo natin is because, yun na nga, nagtagtuyot, tapos suddenly, walang tubig at kawawa ang taong bayan. Sabi nga ng Pangulo, again, hindi ba kayo naaawa? Bakit walang tubig? Narinig na niya at madalas kasi dinidiscuss both sa Karambola at saka namin ni TP sa aming mga pages na itong tubig, masyadong tiba-tiba ang mga water concessionaires dito, particularly ang Manila Water. Or at least that's what it looks like when we review everything. So, nag-order ng review ang Pangulo. The review, according to Secretary Maynard, happened in November pa, pero matagal pong hindi na-discuss sa cabinet meeting. Now, you can make your own conclusions. Bakit hindi nag-discuss kaagad? Bakit hindi na agenda? It's possible na may mga tao doon sa loob ng gabinete ng ating Pangulo na mas interesado na protektahan ang interes ng mga water concessionaires. Diba? So that's another thing we need to look out for. Hindi lang po ang mga water concessionaires ang against sa public interest natin, lahat po ng tumutulong sa kanila are equally guilty of doon sa kanilang kasalanan sa pagpapahirap sa ating mga taong bayan. Maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay uli dito sa isang live sa Luminous. Don't forget to like and share. Don't forget rin na mag-follow sa Luminous. Marami pong tinathrottle po tayo ng Facebook, kaya yung ibang mga naka-follow, either hindi, the next day na-unfollow sila. So please keep checking if you're on See First and if you're still following Luminous by Trixie, Cruz-Angeles and Ahmed, Paglinawan. Maraming salamat po. See you on Karambola tomorrow.